Hi, thanks for watching my video today. I had a question recently on one of the videos I posted yesterday on how do you get multiple cars to travel in the same direction. And that is one of my number one things to do in BeamNG is multiple car jumps, like have 5, 10, 15, 20 cars come this way and 5, 10, 15, 20 cars come from the opposite direction. But I'm going to take it a step farther and show a few more things that I do, little tricks that I do. So, like I said, this was probably going to wind up being a two-part video. I'll make 10 minutes and 10 minutes. You can see the gaps in the floor here. I got to fix all that. That's from, I tore this whole level apart, making another video. I redid all of this and I put everything back, but I didn't line everything up perfectly. So I got to go, I think, I might save my, you can see everything's out of alignment. I might just save my Iron Man and save some of this other stuff, put it in a folder, and then just put the level back to the original settings, and then bring all this stuff back in later. But anyways, let's get back to what we're here for today. So this is going to be ramp number 1. So I want to make a copy of this ramp and make sure that it's exactly in the same position over there. So let's just make a copy of it. Now to spin this ramp around 180 degrees, you can use this tool up here, rotate snap 45, and that means it will be perfectly. Number 2 on the keyboard. And there you go. You got a perfectly matched opposite ramp of this one. And you want to make sure they're absolutely perfectly lined up because the cars are going to be jumping at each other. So let's make sure they are perfectly lined up. And that's good enough. So let's take this one. Now these cars, I'm going to use these GT cars that I love to use for stuff like this. We might have to double these ramps up. I'm not sure how a car is going to line up with these ramps. Let's see here. And we're going to use the same car for all of it. You want the car's speed on each end to be identical. I think we'll use this one. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's plenty of room. Alright, so we got our car set up, got our ramps. Now, I'd like to get these ramps to be the exact same distance in that Iron Man. But first, let's get the ramps the exact same distance. Now, unfortunately, BeamNG, the world editor, does not have a tape measure. I wish it did. So what I do, if I want exact distances between two spots, I just use a road. Because oftentimes I just need to know exactly what the spaces are. So let's try to find the approximate center of the Iron Man, which is right about there. Doesn't have to be exact. So let's go right about here. Press Alt, and let's just make a small road. Let's see if this is centered up okay. Yeah, it's okay. Right about here. It seems to be about the center. Now we want to stretch this road, and this is going to be our tape measure. And remember, the cars hitting the ramps are going to be going like 130 miles an hour. So, that seems good. Let's select that road. Bring that road over. Okay, so there's our tape measure. So let's drag this to the other side. And, we want to make sure that we maintain that center location there. And another thing that would be cool in BeamNG is spray paint. If you could just click on like F10, have a can of spray paint and go make a little mark with that, that would be awesome. But BeamNG doesn't have that. So I have to use markers to mark the center, and I always use a track tube. And that's my center. So let's go back to the world editor. Let's drag this to the other end. And you know, it doesn't have to be dead on exact, because there's always going to be little variations involved here. Even the cars don't behave 100% accurate. Just as long as we get close. There we go. That's good enough. So this is going to be our second ramp. So now we know that our ramps, more or less, are about 90%, 95% accurate as far as being exactly the same space. And that little tube should be our halfway mark. So we can get rid of this. Oh, well, we really did still need that road. Well, we're going to have to make another road. So let's get our car, and let's go back. Right about, seems like in this marker right here. F7. Let's straighten them up. And we want to get the car inside a square. I'll show you why that matters shortly. So I am not going to be driving the cars because I want the cars to all perform exactly the same. I want the acceleration to be to be verbatim. I'm gonna put, I guess just for the purpose of this, I'll put 5 cars over here and 5 cars on the other side. If I use the script AI editor, every car will have a little variation in its acceleration, and I don't want that. So I have to put a chase car, a target car for this car to pursue. So we're going to come down here and go right here, and this is going to be target number 1. And I always use the guinea pig car as my targets because it has a bullseye on the side. I mean, it's made for that, guinea pig. And just for the purposes of staying, you know, being able to keep track of everything, once I get, I'll have, you know, sometimes I make videos like this, I'll have 50 cars on a screen, in a scene, and I'll get confused. So I like to put, just on the target cars, I like to change the license plate to something that's identifiable. So number 1. So there we go, number 1. And now we're going to take this car, because we don't want it to be seen. It can be seen. It's for this, just this video, it can be seen. But if you want to hide the car so it's not seen, you can just slide it inside there. So now we're going to go back to our other car. So the orange car, its target is number 1. And we're going to take these cars, once we make 5 of them, copy them, put them at the, or we can just make new cars and put them at the other end and change the color to something different like yellow. So anyways, let's make some copies of this car. We're just going to do 5. I don't want to get too complicated here. And we're going to go every 2 squares. 1, 2 squares. 2 squares. 2 squares. All right, so there's our 5 cars. Whoops, I'm sorry. Let's fix that. Okay, that's good enough. 2, 2, 2, and 2. So now we've got to make sure we have to make another ruler and measure the front of this car to the tip of that ramp. So let's go up here. And like I said, there's no tape measures in BeamNG, so I use roads. Let's bring that down there. Oh, look at that. So there's our distance. So let's take this road, move this road over there. And again, it doesn't have to be absolutely 100% perfect. Just as long as you can get it as close as you can. Okay. Now the reason I'm using these cars, I mean, we can go in, if you can remember exactly what car you got, you can use it, but we'll just use these cars because they're already spaced properly apart. Make a copy of them. Oh, I almost made a mistake. See that? I had that road selected. So I would have made a copy of that road again. And let's copy all these cars. Did I copy them? Yeah, there you go. And let's move them to the other end. And the reasons that I'm using the same car will be, and like I said, if you can remember exactly what car you had, you could just spawn the car and copy it 5 times. But I just like to use the exact same car because you want them all to accelerate exactly the same. So let's spin them. Use a snap grid and it will spin them perfectly around 45 degrees at a time. Number 1. Right about there. So the next thing we got to do now is set a second vehicle over here, which is going to be another guinea pig. And we're going to make this license plate number 2. Just so I don't get confused, because I can tell you I have had both sets of vehicle chase one vehicle, and it can get a little complicated. F11, World Editor, and let's hide this car. Let's make sure this car is perfectly straight in the middle of the ramp, because the position of this is going to decide where these vehicles hit that ramp. If it's over here, which is good, you can put it over here and make the vehicles, if you wanted to use it as a flip ramp, you could make all those vehicles come and hit right on the very edge of this ramp. You can use your target vehicles to steer your primary vehicles. So we'll put it right here, hide it, and conduct an experiment, a trial run, make sure everything works. So we'll just do one vehicle here. So this will be chase. Turn the awareness off. Oh, we're going to have to reset this. There we go. So hit R, chase, off, and the vehicle will be target number 1. So remember, we put that guinea pig down there. So now let's spawn to, the first vehicle over here. Chase, turn off your awareness, and this will be vehicle number 2. And let them go. Just make sure he's in the middle. So that other vehicle, if all worked well, look at that. Perfect. Perfect timing. So let's see how fast he's going. 106 miles an hour. So I'm not sure how fast he's going to go. We might have to pull these ramps a little bit closer. But let's see here. Yeah, they're not even going to get close to each other. But that's okay. I think you see where we're going with the video. Yeah, they're not even close. But it would still make it. for a interesting crash scene. Okay, so we got all 5 of these vehicles set to a different color, just so we can show some distinction between each vehicle. Let's go back. So now what we're going to do is program all 5 of these cars to chase vehicle number 1. So here we are in a second orange, and we're going to do the same thing here. Chase, off, vehicle number 1. You can see it already says chase, but it's just copying the information from that vehicle to this vehicle. So nothing has been programmed. So press R, and you'll see it changes. And this is because the game is frozen. I've hit J to freeze the game. Because if you don't freeze the game and you program these 2 cars, they're just going to drive away. So hit, same thing again. Chase, turn off, vehicle number 1. Now I'm not going to bore you with all this, so I'm going to pause the game here, and I will program all the vehicles, and then we'll come back and let them go. So let's hopefully everything goes well. We're going to release it and let everything go in full speed and see how it works out. Now let's just spawn to the other side, make sure those vehicles are going good. Alright, appears that everything is working good. Now let's see how this looks. You can see a car that can still drive. It's going to try and make its way to that target car that's in there hidden. But yeah, that looked pretty good. So we're going to do one more thing here. We're going to press Shift R to reset everything. Now remember, that resets vehicles, but it doesn't fix the damage to the vehicle. Well, it fixed most of it. Which, yeah, see the hood? So you just press R, tab, and just tab, R tab through everything. That's all I do, reset everything. Right there. And right there. That should be good enough. Now we have to move our vehicles, because it wouldn't make any sense to leave them there. The cars would crash right into them. And we'll just leave it outside here so you guys can see them. Doesn't matter, you know they're in there. Now remember, this vehicle is being chased by those vehicles, and that vehicle is being chased by those vehicles. And the cool thing about, well, let's go up here to Edit, and Rebuild Collision, F11. Let's scroll back to one of our cars, let them go. Just want to make sure everything works correctly here. Beautiful.